Please help me change the paradigm of healthcare.
The Green Nurse is a holistic cannabis nurse that teaches on the endocannabinoid system and the safe utilization of cannabis and other progressive tools to help people reach a better quality of life.
I'm the founder of Holistic Caring. We're based here in California, and we do educational programs and case management for patients on how to use cannabis therapeutically as a medicine.
We're also here to decrease stigma around what it means to feel good and be high, hence the H for hope, I for inspiration, G for growth, and H for healing.
As the founder of Holistic Caring, I basically oversee the whole ship, and what we're doing is progressive education.
Cannabis actually supports all 11 organ systems, our immune system, and all the neurotransmitter signaling systems that give messages to tell our body to either do something or not do something. Because the plant was prohibited, it prevented health professionals, doctors and nurses from learning about cannabis as medicine.
I want to change the paradigm of healthcare, and us paving the way into a new vanguard of medicine.
It's about education, it's about empowerment, it's about teaching people how to feel good, bridging the gap from what they're not getting from traditional medicine, utilizing different plant medicines, adaptogens, tips, tricks, hugs, and nugs of information to support and nourish the most important system in our body.
It's a lot of soul work, a lot of love, a lot of discipline, and meditation. I'm using my life work as a testimony to others to learn how they can be their own hero and then go help heal the world.
And we are, as nurses, the game changers.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Green Nurse Podcast, living your best life, where we bring hope and inspiration for growth and healing. We're here to change the dialogue and stigma around what it means to feel good and be high. Hence the H for hope, I for inspiration, G for growth, and H for healing. And I am recording live here from the Desert Hot Springs Inn in Desert Hot Springs, and we have the Coachella Valley Cannabis Alliance Network pool party today. And I have the privilege of introducing you to John Thatcher, who is the innkeeper here at Desert Hot Springs Inn. And boy, does he have a story for you. John?
Yes,
welcome to the
thank you.
show.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let's talk about the inn and how special this inn is and what you've done with it.
It's really a special place. The first time I walked onto the property, I just felt like this calm. And they call this the vortex of Desert Hot Springs because it's a combination of, we have mineral water, and this all natural mineral water comes up from the backyard well at 135 degrees. So you have the mineral water, then you have the sunshine that you get out here at Desert Hot Springs and the dry weather.
Right.
So that really helps. And about 9 years ago, we went cannabis-friendly when it was medical marijuana only. I think it was 2018 when it became legalized.
Adult use.
And when it became adult use legalized, I had the Cannabis Independence Day party here.
Fun.
And we had a great time. It's a great crowd. And so I've been doing this, like I said, about 9 years now. And I've never had a better job. I really have not had a better job. I really enjoy the crowd. We get a really good crowd here.
Yeah. Tell me about the inn itself. How many beds, how many places? Let's describe the inn. And I'm going to give a little tour of the inn later at the end of the show. So at the end of the show, you'll see a lot of we call B-roll, which you'll see all kinds of photos and videos of the inn itself. But I want you to describe it.
Okay, well, this inn was built in 1957. So, and it was originally the Monte Carlo.
Okay.
And it stayed that way for many years. It's had a few owners over the years, but all kind of it's a different kind of theme here. Like, in other words, the hotel's always been a little different than other ones. And I like that. I like to have an offering that's very individual. We have 7 rooms here. All the rooms are different. So we have a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. We've got rooms with kitchenettes. We've got standard rooms. So we have a good selection of rooms here. And the rooms are, like I said, all different.
Yeah.
So, whatever the requirement is, we can offer it.
Yeah. And what I love about the rooms is that they all are surrounding your key item, the key health and wellness item, which is your pool, which is mineral hot springs water.
Pumped up right from the ground.
There you go. And you had a fascinating story when I first met you, and you were describing what's different about the mineral water here in your pool and how it gets completely recirculated every 24 hours.
Yes. So we have a well in the backyard, like I just said, and then we have a dry well on the other side of the pool. And so we're able to, like I said, the water comes up at 135 degrees. So we add enough of the hot well in there to keep the temperature accurate. And then as the water level rises, we have what they call a dry well, where there's a like tube at the end of the pool. And if the water level gets too high, it spills off and goes right back into the aquifer. So we only borrow the water.
There you go. Borrow the water. Yeah. So tell me when you decided to go cannabis friendly and what did that look like?
Well, we've always been very concerned about health and wellness. And at that time, it was kind of a thing going on. And we were trying to break the stigma.
There is a lot of stigma.
A lot of stigma. And so the progress we've made is just, CVCAN has helped, a lot of people have helped us, but the progress we've made is terrific. I mean, when we first went cannabis friendly, people would call and they say, "Can I smoke a joint there?"
They would whisper.
They would whisper.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I answered as loud as there is, and I said, "Come on down." And they come on down. They were like, "Wow, I've never seen anything like this before." Well, we were the first cannabis-friendly hotel in California.
Right. And you were also on the front page of the newspaper.
Yeah, we were in front page LA Times. We were in Forbes magazine. We've had 3 or 4 broadcast news. We did a television show. We've had the European Travel Network came out and did a feature on the hotel. I mean, we've had tons of press. And if you ever want to look at that press, it's at www.deserthotspringsin.com.
Yep. And you're going to be able to see that link in the show notes. So when you were watching the video, make sure you click the link, Desert Hot Springs Inn, and you'll be able to see that interview.
Yes.
Amazing. So I want to know, tell me why you like cannabis people. Like, because we had this conversation before, like there's a big difference between the type of people that come here, and you have regulars, that book all the time. So tell me, like, why do you like the cannabis people?
They come with a good attitude. They feel like they're getting a unique experience coming somewhere. They like to relax, and they don't want to have to go anywhere.
There you go.
And I can't even begin to tell you the contrast between the people who drink and the cannabis people.
Oh, I bet that's very glaring.
It's very glaring. There's nothing that the drinkers won't do.
Right.
Where the cannabis people, they're just glad to be here,
Yeah.
And they sit out, they do whatever it is they do, and they don't drive.
Right.
They come here and they stay. That once they start smoking or doing whatever it is they're doing, they don't get in their cars and go out. And because like I watch the drinkers because I don't want them getting in their car going out.
Right. So you've created this beautiful space. Gosh, I was lucky enough to be able to come here on the 4th of July and enjoy the fireworks front row. So we were in the back. So all of the rooms surround the pool. There's a clubhouse area with a kitchen, and then there's a back area where you even have a dog park because it's dog friendly,
Dog friendly too.
which is amazing.
Bring your dogs.
There you go.
And
Dog-
cannabis people, they won't travel without their dogs.
Right? Yeah. And then we sat and you had a fire pit area and chairs, and we got to watch the fireworks, which I thought was just absolutely amazing. You told me, you said, "Oh no, you have to come here. You were going to have the best fireworks show ever," and you were right. Right in the heart of Desert Hot Springs.
Yeah, the fireworks are flying right over our heads.
Yeah, it was brilliant. So, tell me about your so now you're part of CVCAN.
Yes.
Yep. So tell me about your how Coachella Valley Cannabis Alliance, how you found CVCAN and how you're
Well, I was going to CVCAN before I came to the hotel.
Oh, okay.
So, and it was the original crew.
Okay. So this is Coachella Valley Cannabis Alliance.
It used to be Desert Hot Springs Cannabis Alliance.
Really?
It started out that way. It started out like a little focus group at the city hall.
Mm-hmm.
And then the city said, "Oh, well, this is a great idea, So they established what is now CVCAN. And it was kind of the first of, just people openly coming out and talking about cannabis as a business.
Right.
And they've done really well. I'm so proud of CVCAN as far as the way they've gone over the years. And right now, I think they're doing very well.
Yeah. So Coachella Valley Cannabis Alliance, we're going to have the president, Scott, on in a little bit. And Elizabeth and I are in charge of the health and wellness committee at CVCAN. So we would like to, cannabis can be used as, recreationally, it can be used as a medicine, it can be used as a wellness tool. And so that's what we like to focus on at CVCAN is how we can bring more health and wellness to the association.
Well, what I noticed about a lot of the guests that we get here is they are using cannabis as a medicinal.
Yeah.
They really are. And I'd say it's close to 80%.
I believe you. I mean,
Yeah.
it was really interesting when, COVID hit and we were doing cannabis coaching and consulting and this is way back in Massachusetts. It was very interesting how when they shut down recreational dispensaries, everyone went to get their medical cards. And so people are getting their medical cards. And, it was really interesting, here we are thinking that people are, just wanted to get stoned, but it was actually people, they just didn't want to register to have a registration. They really just wanted to be able to use it as a medicine. And so the medical card was prohibitory at the time for them because some of them had a license to carry, some of them didn't want people to know, they didn't want to be in a registry. So it was really interesting once COVID happened and the adult use dispensaries shut down for a little bit, people were coming to get their cards. And so we are, as nurses, as we wanted to educate them, even though they had said, "I've been using cannabis for a long time." I'm sure you have, but let's talk about how and why you're using it. And maybe we can help you optimize it. So if you're not getting the results that you're looking for. So it was really interesting that the majority of patients that came to us, here we're thinking is that, oh, they're just getting the medical cards because they want to just get high. No, it was more than that. They were actually using cannabis as a medicine. It was helping them with eating. It was helping them with sleeping. It was helping them with social anxiety. It was helping them to move better. They were pairing it with health and wellness activities, helping them to go to the gym, helping them to recover from the gym and their workouts, et cetera. So there was a lot to it and a lot of misconceptions. We have this system in our body that knows how to use this medicine. And, what we're trying to do, again, is to educate and empower patients to use it to the highest potential for what they need. And that's different for every person. So I'm just going to talk really quickly about how the therapeutic use of cannabis has been defined, because it's really teaches people easily and effortlessly because they're either using it appropriately or they're not. So as defined in the Scope and Standards of Cannabis Nursing book, the therapeutic use of cannabis is the use of cannabis products for medicinal, wellness, and healing purposes. It's personal and subjective to each consumer, with objective criteria being improvement in one of the 5 health domains without negatively impacting any of the others. So when you think of the 5 health domains, it's biological, mental, emotional, social, and spiritual. So you really only need to have a benefit in one of them, but not impairing or having an adverse effect in any of the other health domains. So it makes it really easy for people to think about, are you using it therapeutically or are you not, right? And so adult use, recreational use cannabis can be therapeutic use. And that's the whole point I'm trying to
I would
make.
agree with you. I've seen hundreds of people come through here.
Yep.
And I always ask them, first of all, how'd you find us?
Right.
You know, and the second one is there any reason why cannabis is helping you in your life and what's all that? And I've gotten every story. We get a lot of cancer patients.
It's the healing waters are
The
very
healing waters and the fact that they can go, you know, we have the best dispensaries ever in here in Desert Hot Springs. And it's really worth going and talking to the bud tenders and finding out whatever it is that, you know, you're trouble with. And they have tested cannabis,
Yep.
you know, that comes from a laboratory. So they know what it is.
Yeah.
And that's why, you know, I don't recommend anybody buy from the black market.
No.
Because you don't know what you're getting.
Right. Exactly.
But you go down to the dispensary, they have all kinds of different cannabis products. And there, whatever your ailment is, there's something for you. There really is. I had a lady here one time, and she's the one that really caught my attention. She had Tay-Sachs disease.
Tay-Sachs disease.
And she had to have infusions every 2 weeks. And she said that if she didn't have the cannabis, she said the infusions would just kick her butt.
So it was able to mitigate the side effects of the infusion because she needed the infusion. Obviously, that's part of her medicine.
Mhm.
But oftentimes there's a lot of side effects. So cannabinoids can be really, really helpful in mitigating side effects of
They
a
make
lot
you
of
hungry,
medications.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so she says if she didn't have her cannabis, then she wouldn't eat for days after that and having trouble like that. So she strikes me as one of the more compelling guests that we've had where cannabis has improved her life dramatically.
Yeah.
And you like to see that. And then when people come here, you know, we've got different relationships with different dispensaries.
Yep.
So if I send them down to one of our dispensaries that, you know, where they know us and all that, usually they'll get comp items and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's really a good combination. You know, I went and made the relationships at the dispensaries. And so when people go there, oh, I'm staying at Desert Hot Springs Inn, they know what to do.
That's awesome. That's wonderful. Gosh, John, you've done some great work here. Desert Hot Springs Inn. I want you to check the comments below, click on the link, take a peek. And if you come out to Desert Hot Springs Inn, you all have to reach out to me because I will come out and visit you here. It's an amazing place. CVCAN Pool Party 2026. Really, it's all about living your best life and helping others do the same.
Living your best life. I love that. And
Yeah.
that's really what we're doing in here.
That's it. Thank you so much, John.
You're welcome.
All right. And guess who I have here? I have a representative from Pabst Blue Ribbon, High Seltzer, and St. Ives. I am here with Everett Carlton, and we are here at the Coachella Valley Cannabis Alliance CVCAN 2026 Pool Party, celebrating 10 years of CVCAN. So, Everett, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
So glad to have you. So tell us about Pabst and St. Ives.
So our Pabst line, we have these are the lower end ones. We got 10 milligrams, 15 milligram, 25 milligrams. This is our 10 milligram lemon seltzer.
It's delicious.
Very good. We also brought some St. Ides 100 milligrams.
Those are heavy hitters.
They're a little heavier.
Not for the beginner.
Right. So we have the closed tabs on them, so you don't have to drink the whole thing. You can always dose yourself. You can always drink more, but you can't drink less.
Correct.
So we have the dosage on the side. You could take 10 milligrams, 20 milligrams, whatever, you know,
Yep.
comfortable with.
Just so you know, I've had both brands and I really like them both. And the 100 milligram ones, they are strong and potent, but like he said, you can open and close them easily and effortlessly and just pour yourself a little bit
Right.
and then mix in something else or just sip on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm a fan. I'm a big fan.
that's great to hear. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're really good. Yeah, you really don't taste the THC too much in
Mm-mm.
them. They're really smooth. A lot of people tell us that. Yeah, they're easy to drink.
They're really smooth, easy to drink, and and if people are looking to have an effect, it hits.
Definitely.
It definitely hits. The thing that I really like about it as well is that it hits, but it also doesn't linger forever.
Right.
So in other words, it metabolizes very quickly through the body,
Yes. Yes,
which
it is.
which makes it a beautiful
Right.
way to consume cannabis, right? Because sometimes people, they'll be like, oh, I can have one of these and I can be fine to drive in 2 hours,
Right.
right? Whereas if I had a big giant edible, 10 milligrams with a lot of other things in it, it may hang around a little bit longer,
Yes.
right? And
Yeah.
that's because of how it's made, right? Because it's water soluble.
Right. So it's water soluble. It's also fast acting. So you really don't have to wait too long to feel the effect. So if you drink one, you're gonna feel it pretty soon. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you don't have to
So
wait too long.
yeah. So Everett, tell me, I want to hear about your journey of what brought you to cannabis and how you started working for the company.
Okay, so I had applied about a year ago. Actually, it's about to be a year this month. Um, and since then, we were almost when I got in there, we were almost number one. Now we are number one in the drinks, cannabis drinks.
I believe
So
it.
we're a really fast growing company, and yeah, I mean, everybody seems to love our drinks. Everybody that I've talked to, all the dispensaries, everybody they love Pabst, they love St. Ides. So yeah,
Yeah.
we're happy to be a part of this.
And we're so happy, CVCAN. Every time we have an event at Coachella Valley Cannabis Alliance, we have Pabst and St. Ides here. You guys have been doing an amazing job at, sponsoring and showing up and really supporting the cannabis industry.
Yeah, we try
Yeah.
to get our name out there as much as we can, promote.
Yeah. Yep. So tell me about let's talk about really quickly the different flavors and what's your
Okay.
favorite flavor?
If we're talking about the St. Ides, I would have to say the raspberry tea. I really like raspberry teas, and it's a really good one.
Yep.
Like it's a really good raspberry tea. I mean,
I've had the raspberry tea. You know
all the
what
teas
my
are-
favorite is for the St. Ides is the pear.
pear lychee is very good. It's very
So
good.
delicious.
Yeah, that's one of the number one sellers.
Is it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah. And this is just really nice because it's just 10 milligrams. It's in a big can. It's
Right.
cold. It's like a lemon seltzer. Tastes really, really good. Very
Refreshing,
refreshing.
very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me about your about CVCAN, how you guys got involved in CVCAN.
So this was a kind of a last minute thing, I guess. Yeah, they had told us at work that they had got involved with you guys. They had a pool party going on, and yeah, so they kind of called us out here. It was the last second. They had asked if I could come do it. I was like, of course. So yeah, we came by. I'm pretty
Great.
sure they've been doing events with you guys for a little bit here. I know I went to I think that was the last one that you guys threw. I attended it. I wasn't really an ambassador there.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You weren't an
Yeah,
ambassador
I was
yet.
more
That's all
attending
right.
the party.
That's right. Hey, you gotta start somewhere.
Yeah.
Right? Exactly. So for our viewers, and this is a show, the Green Nurse Podcast, Living Your Best Life. We're here to decrease stigma around what it means to feel good and be high. So that's my tagline is H is for hope, I is for inspiration, G is for growth, and H is for healing. Cannabis
Love
brings hope to so many people, hope that they can have a better day, hope that they can, have a good night's sleep, hope that they can manage their anxiety, hope, et cetera, et cetera. And with that hope comes inspiration. And when you are inspired, you're in spirit, and the spirit of plant medicine in your body allows you to do things a little bit differently. So it opens up doorways and pathways. We have an endocannabinoid system that this plant works on. So hope and inspiration for growth and healing. So growth is an action word that you have to do, right? So it's not just about consuming cannabis. A lot of people that consume cannabis pair it with health and wellness activities, and that's one of the things that we like to encourage. And then healing. Healing isn't the absence of illness or disease. It's doing the best you can with what you have right here and right now. So how is cannabis helping you to live your best life?
So I'm a 29-year-old dad of two. Sometimes I just like to kick back after work and enjoy cold can, a cold beverage, little 10 milligram, 15 milligram, and it helps me relax, kick back. It helps me with my sleep, my appetite, so and there's a lot of factors that it helps out with.
Awesome. So Everett, thank you so much for joining us.
Of course.
We are here representing Pabst and St. Ides beverages, #1 beverages in the cannabis market today. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And we are back. We are here at the Coachella Valley Cannabis Alliance 2026 pool party, 10th year anniversary of CVCAN. Wow, congratulations, Coachella Valley Cannabis Alliance. And we are interviewing the different sponsors and supporters of CVCAN. And with me today, I have Dolores Vargas of Ganja Mingle. Tell me all about Ganja Mingle.
Perfect. First of all, thank you so much for having me on the podcast. So I am with Ganja Mingle. We are a social media platform for the cannabis community and culture. It's built on community, and what we strive for is to have artists, dispensaries, associations, and of course the community users to go ahead and sign up and build from there. So we have the ability to have events hosted by different dispensaries. It's like a first intimate communication with your audiences for dispensaries and associations. And of course, it's just a great way to build a community. If you're looking for specifics, specific products, specific people, like-minded people, that is a great way to start.
Absolutely. Now, Ganja Mingle, aren't you guys having an event with CVCAN?
So we've been a part of 2 events so far with CVCAN. We are grateful for us to have a partnership with them. We've expanded to Coachella Valley as our start here. We've been at their mixer. Now we're here at the pool party, just of course explaining to people that we would love for them to sign up and join.
Ganja Mingle. So are you a cannabis consumer?
I actually am not a cannabis consumer.
Okay, that's okay.
Right. But I, of course, love to be around community, and that's what it's built on. And I love to meet new people, talk to new people. I love to learn from new people. And even if I'm not a consumer, I would sit there and listen to all different types of products and like what it is to be a consumer. I have no problem with that.
Well, see, not everyone consumes cannabis.
Right.
Right. And so, but how amazing for those people out there that don't consume cannabis and that are judging machines, right? That you have the essence of nursing is human caring for the entire human experience. And so, you have a non-judgmental approach.
Yes. Yes.
People that's amazing.
Yes, I definitely strive to learn wisdom from other people, and it all stands from empathy and of course just being open-minded is what we would be more so like in the cannabis. Like I wish everybody was like that, and if anything, that's how Ganja Mingle is. It's very open-minded.
Open-minded. So it's a social media platform.
Yes, and what is really cool is for users, of course, you can find your favorite dispensary on there and see what they have. If they have any sort of promotions going on, I would say you would be the first to hear about it because they can send a message directly to you. If they're having like a flash sale or a happy hour, I guarantee you would be the first to know. And the other part is as a business or a commercial profile is what we would call them. It's a really good marketing tool for them to get exposure more like wide, right? So they'll be able to reach more people.
So Ganja Mingle is a platform not just for cannabis consumers, but also cannabis businesses.
Yes.
So bringing everyone together to share wisdom, hugs and nugs of love and information. So that's amazing. Yeah. So thank you so much for being here and for joining us. And this is Dolores Vargas from Ganja Mingle. So make sure you check in the comments below, click the link so you can join Ganja Mingle, and I'll see you there. And guess who I get to talk to now? I get to talk to Michael Peters,
Hello, everybody.
who is a bud tender at Double I Dispensary here in California,
Yeah,
Cathedral City.
we're around the corner, Date Palm and Vista Chino.
There you go, Date Palm and Biscino. And I really do like Double I. There's a lot of, I've been to a few events there. You know, Coachella Valley Cannabis Alliance has had a lot of their meetings there, a lot of events there. You guys do a great job.
We are we're here for the community. We're a mom and pop store, so the things that we do at Double I are very centered around being local. And things like CVCAN really help us to bring things out to the community. And that's why we love having CVCAN do events for us, because it makes it easier for us to do what we're trying to accomplish, which is make sure that the city gets involved, gets together, and make sure that cannabis is something that can help everybody,
Help
everything
everybody.
that we do.
So tell me, so you work at Double I. What made you get involved in the cannabis industry?
So I actually moved out here from Tennessee.
Oh,
And in Tennessee, cannabis is very, very illegal.
very naughty.
I have friends that are in jail still for cannabis
Oh, wow.
in Tennessee, getting pulled over, having too much with them. And when I first came out here, my mom is actually the one that got me back into cannabis. She was against it her whole life, and she takes Papa and Barkley sleep gummies to be able to sleep. And she was like, "You really need to calm down. You're very hyper. Your ADHD is high." And so she bought me a joint.
There you go.
That changed it.
There you go. Well, cannabinoids can work so well for so many different conditions because we have an endocannabinoid system. We have an endocannabinoid system not because of the cannabis plant, but because we make molecules in our body very similar to the plant. And I remember too, this is really interesting. I have ADHD. Wasn't diagnosed officially until I was in my 20s, but I remember almost failing first grade. Read, right?
Had a little seat in the back, probably.
Oh, I was constantly be standing in the corner, like literally. But the bottom line is because, a lot of conditions, people have an endocannabinoid deficiency. So when you supplement with cannabinoids, you can restore cell signaling and things can happen a lot better.
I think one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. We were bud tending and a couple came in, and his partner had, I believe it's Parkinson's.
Parkinson's, he was a little
Yeah, his hands were shaky.
tremors.
And we have a product called Mood Spray at our store. And I know that the CBD one-to-one is really good for stuff. So I gave him 2 sprays, and within 30 seconds, his hands calmed down, stopped shaking completely. His partner cried. I was almost in tears watching it happen. But to see something like just a mood spray that you can take completely cure something that they've probably been trying to do forever just showed me the beauty of what cannabis can do for people.
Yeah. So, I'm really impressed that you gave him a 1-to-1.
Yeah.
So good job.
High-five.
Because 1-to-1 is 1 part CBD, 1 part THC, and the research and the literature can substantiate that it is a powerful combination that can work on multiple conditions. And also, he was probably new to cannabis.
Yes.
So if someone's that's new to cannabis, you don't want to give them too much THC. So where did you learn?
So our owner of our store at Double I, since we are a mom and pop store, she's very big on making sure that we understand cannabis is bigger than just getting high.
There you go.
And so she makes sure that she brings people in that teach us what the different cannabinoids is. And there's so many different ones now. There's CBG, CBC, CBD, and all of them have different effects that they can do to help people.
Yep.
So the more I know, the more I can help somebody else.
The more that you can help somebody else. Yeah. So how long have you been in the space for, cannabis space?
So
You look really young.
I've been doing cannabis for about 4 years now.
Okay.
Started off at a shop called Reefer, then came down to Double I, and it's just been a different culture since I've been at Double I. Done things like giving out turkeys for Thanksgiving. We have local vendors that we let bring food. It's been beautiful to feel like I'm a part of something that gives back so much, and the cannabis industry has helped me give back. So I value it very much.
So Double I Dispensary, Cathedral City, California.
28201 Date Palm Drive,
There you go.
Suite C.
Sweet C, and it's a great place. So, thank you so much, Michael,
Thank you.
for all you do. And really quickly for our viewers,
Okay.
how is cannabis helping you to live your best life?
I'm an artist. I make music, and so cannabis and music for me is the greatest combination I've ever had in my life. I've created some of my best music just after sitting down, having a St. Ides drink, which is my favorite, and just zoning out and it's kind of like taking this space, and it's been amazing to see the type of music and ventures I've made from it.
See, amazing.
Cool.
So it's not even just about health and wellness, it's about creativity and, helping you to be able to create something that you're passionate about.
THCV is my favorite.
There
When it
you
comes
go.
to making music, animations, anything like that, THCV is the go-to. Keeps you locked in and focused, apparently.
Very good. Helps with the ADHD, I'm sure.
Yes. Yes, it does.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Michael,
Thank you.
for
Appreciate
living your best life and helping others do the same.
it. Thank you. Have a great one.
Okay, we are on to our next interview. I'm here with Joseph Ernst, and he is in charge of Aqua Soleil and Desert Hot Springs Inn. We already spoke to John Thatcher, who is the innkeeper here, but we're going to talk today with Joseph and hear a little bit about his story.
Yeah, so I'm Joseph, and I'm the operations manager at Aqua Soleil, and I run all the spas at the different properties. I think you wanted to talk about the massage
Oh,
specifically?
yes,
You wanna get into-
specifically, yeah. So what's really cool, okay, so these aren't just hotels and inns. These are hotels and inns where people are creating experiences. And so when people go away, I mean, when you go away on vacation, you want to have an experience. And so having things that you like to do and comfort things such as massage, CBD, cannabinoids, etc., the pool, the spa, all of that, for health, wellness, and having a good time. So tell me about the spa services that you offer.
Yeah, so we have a couple very unique services. We obviously have the standard massages that you'd find at most hotels, but we have one that's called the Ritual. It's actually a body scrub and then a massage and then a wrap.
Nice.
Kind of get 3 treatments in one. We have another one that's the fire and ice massage. We use hot stones and cold stones to do contrast therapy.
Yep.
Very great, very good for I don't know. Sorry, I'm not very good at this. Inflammation from muscle problems, and it's based off the Icelandic fire the fire and ice Iceland.
Yep. So kind of hot and cold therapy at the same time.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then
very good for the immune system.
and then a lot of hotels offer the CBD massage with just CBD oil. We actually offer a tincture that you drink that has a lot of anti-inflammatory ingredients, as well as we use a spot treatment that's kind of like a fire or icy hot, but it's very concentrated for the specific spots where you have the biggest problems. And then we also use CBD oil, massage oil for the rest of the massage.
Nice. So for the new viewers and for people that didn't know this, I'm going to give you a little bit of education about what massage does to the endocannabinoid system. And this has been substantiated by research. So as I've said before, we have an endocannabinoid system, not because of the cannabis plant, but because we make molecules in our body very similar to the plant. One of the molecules that we make is called anandamide, and the anandamide molecule that we make mimics the THC molecule. So what happens, and so THC from the plant, anandamide from that we make, they plug into the receptors to initiate a biological reaction, so improving cell signaling. So anandamide has been known as the bliss molecule. So that's ananda is a Sanskrit word for bliss. So what they did is they did research on people that were having massages and testing their anandamide levels before and after. Their anandamide levels, so your own THC molecule that you make, is increased by at least 400% when you have a massage. So how cool is that? So imagine you're having a deep tissue or a massage that's therapeutic, you're relaxing, you're increasing your own bliss-like molecule. And then if you take CBD orally, what happens is CBD helps to keep your own anandamide molecule circulating in your body longer. How cool is that? So giving people CBD while they have their massage is you're almost like creating a euphoria in just a different way, naturally, without even having to inhale or consume THC.
Yeah,
Just pretty cool.
absolutely. So
Yeah.
definitely an amazing experience. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, and our skin is our largest organ,
Mhm.
and we have cannabinoid receptors in our skin. And so when you think about, when we're thinking about a therapeutic massage, it's for relaxation, could be for muscle and joint pain, it can help with sleep, it can help with anxiety, it can just help with so many different things. And again, you're boosting your own body's endocannabinoids naturally through massage. So you're offering that at both Aqua Soleil and the Desert Hot Springs Inn.
Yep.
That's great.
Yeah.
And how do you source your CBD products?
So we're using gosh, I'm sorry,
That's
I
okay.
wasn't ready for the question.
Okay, that's okay.
Why am I not remembering? We use a pretty reputable brand. I've definitely done a lot of research and experimented with a lot of different products. I was previously at Two Bunch Palms, and we used Mother Nature's brand.
Yeah.
And then over at the Spring, we were using a different brand. I just found that this one was the most complete, full, and most effective with actual studies involved. But I am very now interested in checking out your product.
Yeah, so we've got Bloom Hemp CBD, we've got 6 different topicals. And one of the things that we do, which believe it or not, is we teach people how to make their own massage oil. So even taking CBD, CBG, CBN isolates and mixing it in with MCT oil in a container. So you have a gram of each, so it's 3,000 milligrams of oil, and then people can put it on themselves. So, which is really nice.
That sounds very
yeah, it's good. It's cost effective and it makes it last a long time. And the thing that's lovely about that is it not only can it be used as a topical, but it can also be used as a tincture.
Oh, very nice.
So it's kind of cool. Either or. One of my favorite CBD massages. So I actually get a massage once a week, consistently every single Sunday. It's booked. And I like to use our citrus tincture because it smells really nice. So it has that added citrus oil. So it's got the essential oils in it, and it helps promote the relaxation response. And you can really get into a nice, deep meditative state when you have a massage. So yeah. So thank you, Joseph. Aqua Soleil, Desert Hot Springs Inn.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Check the link. You can click on the link below and you can be able to visit either Aqua Soleil or Desert Hot Springs Inn. The links will be in the show notes for you to be able to see. So, and finally, how is cannabis helping you to live your best life?
All these questions I wasn't ready for. For me, I got arthritis at a very young age, probably in my early 20s. I started having a lot of different pains and, different accidents. I still can't open my right hand.
Yeah.
It definitely helps with that a lot.
It helps with the arthritis, decrease inflammation.
I can't do any painkiller or anything like that. And it's really the only thing that works other than the painkillers, but they're just not.
The painkillers completely make me dysphoric. So it's the opposite of euphoria.
Yeah, no, right? I feel terrible, but at least alleviates the pain, but I couldn't live like that. It's not an option.
I feel the same way. Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. And make sure you click on the link below to visit Aqua Soleil and Desert Hot Springs Inn.
Thanks for having me.
And it is a hot one here at Desert Hot Springs Inn. And we're here at the AC. We're in this nice little room here. And I have the privilege of sitting with the Associate VP of Compliance and Operations, Adam Sintes of Jeter. So Jeter. So Jeter, for the new viewers, let's talk about what is Jeter, and then we're going to talk about your role and how the company's evolved.
For sure. So Jeter is we're a pre-roll company, right? And I mean, we specialize in pre-rolls. That's been our bread and butter since we opened our doors in 2018. And we've expanded into different variations of our pre-roll line, vape cartridge lines, everything of that caliber. And we're like the #1 pre-roll across the US right now. And we're expanding into multiple markets and really focusing on, big experience, and we do a lot of events, and we're just very driven to making sure the consumer's always happy, right?
Yeah.
And really like advocating for cannabis, of course. That's the biggest thing we're always trying to do. So
Yep, absolutely. So I remember when I first came out to California and went to the 420 Bank, and they're not here anymore. And I got I loved them, a little tiny jar of little Jeters.
yeah.
So they were the
Jeter, yeah.
I loved the baby Jeters. So because it was just enough.
Yeah.
Like, a couple of puffs, you get to share it with a person and you don't feel like you're wasting it.
Right.
Right.
100%.
Yeah. So that's what I really like is so the Jeters. So there's pre-rolls, there's baby Jeters, there's infused pre-rolls.
Yes, that's where our bread and butter for sure is infused pre-rolls. And we do one that's a quad infused now. So it's rosin, flower, kief, terpenes, and concentrates, right? And then we have our live resin and rosin cannons, which are flower and live rosin and resin infused. And then we have our vape cartridge lines from diamond cartridges to resin cartridges. And we're branching out and exploring new product types as well right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the main headquarters of Jeter is in Desert Hot Springs.
It is.
We drive by there all the time. I mean, it is, and it's amazing because at certain times of day, the traffic literally stops because of people coming and going from Jeter.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
guys are a very large facility.
Yes, we are. We operate 2 shifts, and so usually we're kind of blocking off the road for a little bit for about 30 minutes per day when the shift changes are happening. And apologize for that for anybody who is driving through Desert Hot Springs at that time. But yes, so we are a fairly large operation, but we manufacture and distribute across all of California, and then obviously we are located in other markets as well. But,
Yep, other markets and dispensaries, etc. So tell me about what does the Associate VP of Compliance and Operations do for our viewers so they know, because there's a lot of new people that are learning about cannabis, recreationally, medicinally, for wellness. And so a lot of people don't know, that this is a business.
It really is. It's a real business. It's
the business.
It's a business too. So my role, when I took on compliance back in early 2019, I didn't necessarily agree with the idea of a compliance-based division sitting at home 364 days a year, coming to the facility 1 day out of the year saying you suck and then going back, right? Like that's not being productive and helping grow your business or develop your business. So the way compliance operations works is we're actually very hands-on in the business every day. So we're doing all the metric activity, testing, submissions and scheduling. We're dealing with all the production batch records and stuff to alleviate pressure from the manufacturing departments and other departments, but we're also reconciling in real time, ensuring reporting is correct. And then there's a vast amount of other things that we dive into, from like packaging and labeling approvals, because that's a huge thing in this industry. Especially with all the regulations and all the changes that constantly occur. And then we're just a support system as well. Like we're always there to be a part of anything that a department may need us for. If they just reach out, we just jump in and we'll support wherever we can.
Nice. So what brought you into the cannabis industry?
Honestly, there's a lot of reasons, but I've been a huge advocate for cannabis since I was a kid, right? And I'm still very much an advocate today. And what really drove me to explore cannabis, because it had just really started kicking off, is I got burnt out on my previous career. I was traveling far too much. Now, fast forward, I'm doing that just as much now. That's okay.
A little bit different.
Yeah, but it's more enjoyable, I guess, because of the industry I'm in. But I actually stumbled across Jeter at the time, and it just seemed like the right move to make. And I was brought in originally as a inventory coordinator, believe it or not. And I was happy to step away from my previous career and what I was doing to do it, because I love what cannabis is and what it can bring to not only as a business, but also to like communities across the entire world, honestly, and the promises that it does show and gives to individuals with a multitude of illnesses or just anxiety, whatever the proprietary things that cannabis does. We don't even know all of it yet. So
I know.
But that's what made me really get into the industry, is that I had a passion for it for such a long time, and especially since I was a kid. And I'm just so glad it's actually finally being taken seriously and the most regards, I guess, for right now.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm not sure if you know this, but did you know that cannabis nursing has been recognized as a specialty?
Yeah, I did, which is
know.
incredible,
I know.
actually.
So
I love
nurses,
that.
out of all the licensed medical professionals, nurses are really truly taking the lead on advocating for the safe therapeutic use of cannabis for medicinal, wellness, and healing purposes. And that includes adult use, using it safely, right?
100%, that's awesome. I just love
Yeah,
that.
well, here we are as, nurses, we tell people to go enjoy themselves. How dare we judge them how they do it?
100%.
So, exactly. So using it therapeutically, means that you have an improvement in one of your 5 health domains and you're not impacting any of the others negatively.
Right.
So how has cannabis helped you to live your best life?
Honestly, cannabis is like, it can be a very stressful job, working in the industry, right? But I think what it has taught me is actually like to be more creative and just experience, like not even just consuming it, right? Working in this industry, I've met probably the most creative and most brilliant people that outside of like any other profession I have done, I've literally met them all here. It's like they all waited until cannabis became legal and then just came out of the woodwork, you know what I mean? And
Right.
and I think that's been the most driving factor for me is that already cannabis was inspiring a lot of my creativity when I would, be at home and not doing the blind things like drawing or doing art of some kind or skateboarding or something. And it always brought that creativity out in me. But now working in the industry and experiencing that is like a whole nother different type of level that I never would have experienced anywhere else.
Yep, I totally agree with you with the creativity.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's
Yeah.
amazing. It just frees your mind so significantly.
It does, for sure. And it brings hope and inspiration for growth and healing across so many different domains of health for so many different people.
1000%.
Yeah. So I am here with Adam Sintis Jeter. Check in the comments below, click on Jeter, the website, and take a peek at what they're all about. And I'm sure you'll find them in the dispensaries.
Sure.
Because they are the bomb.
Well, thank you. No, we really appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. And guess who I have in the house? That's right. Brownie Mary Democrats. Another registered nurse who's retired, Lanny Swerdlow. Welcome to the Green Nurse Podcast.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me.
Yes. So let's talk about what is Brownie Mary Democrats, and I want to hear your story.
Well, Brownie Mary Democrats, the story. It goes like this. I was part of a collective in the Inland Empire. It was called the Inland Empire Medical Patient Health and Wellness Center. And we were in the city of Riverside. There's about 9 other dispensaries. And the city of Riverside sued us for violating their zoning ordinances that don't allow medical marijuana collectives to operate. And they sued every single one. We were just one of them. But through the luck of the draw and the way the legal process works, our particular case, our particular collective was the collective's case that went all the way to the California Supreme Court. And because what I feel was not particularly the best, well, I don't want to go into that. We lost the case. The California Supreme Court said, yes, cities can ban collectives under their state law. We were told by lawyers that, oh no, this is a state law. You're allowed to have collectives. The cities can't ban them, like they can't ban shoe stores. Well, the city said, yes, we can. We went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court agreed with the city, said, yeah, you can ban it. Now, all these bans that are in place right now were from that Supreme Court decision. So in a way, I'm very ashamed that I was part of a decision that caused the cannabis industry a lot of problems. Well, anyway, I saw what was going on there, and I began to recognize that the cannabis industry was considered a joke. They laughed at us. We had no clout whatsoever. We go to talk to a politician about getting the law, they just patted us on the head and sent us away. We were a laughing stock. And so I began to think, well, how do we get this political capital? How do we sit there so we're not a laughing stock? When we go to our legislators, they'll actually listen to us.
Right.
So I began looking around at examples that I could follow. And the example I found was the gay community, the lesbian gay community. I don't know who is lower on the ladder of social acceptance. People who smoke pot are people who have sex with members of the same sex, but we're pretty low on the ladder. But somehow the gay community had worked their way up the ladder all the way to the point that Barack Obama said, gosh, I was wrong on same-sex marriage. I now support same-sex marriage. Well, I want cannabis to be able to do the same thing. I want our president and I said, yeah, I used to be against cannabis, but now I use it myself. That's and so we had to get political capital. We had to get political. So we began to look, how did the gay community score this enormous success of going all the way to the president of the United States in support of their causes? And they did it by starting out at the very bottom, on the county central committee level. And that's where they started organizing gay groups, Stonewall Democrats, Harvey Milk groups, that kind of stuff. So I decided I was going to do the same thing here in Riverside County. And so I went to the Riverside County Democratic Party. It's in 2012. And I said, I'd like to form a cannabis Democrat club. And they said, oh, yeah, you can do that. And they were very welcoming. I said, oh, wow, cool. And so I had to do charter and all this kind of thing. So I tell them that what's the name going to be? We're going to call it the Cannabis Democratic Club. And a number of people in the party said, oh, no, you can't do that. You can't name a Democratic club after a Schedule I drug.
Well,
So
there you go, stigma.
So I said, so I once again I turned to the gay community and I said, well, how did the gay community call them? They don't call themselves the Gay Democratic Clubs or lesbian. They call themselves. They named it after a famous person, our famous event. They named it after Stonewall, after Harvey Milk. And so I said, well, that's what I'll do. I'm going to name it after a famous cannabis person. So what famous cannabis person should I use? And the first person that came to mind was Bob Marley. Everybody knows Bob Marley. And then I thought about it. Well, that's not the best thing. Long dreadlocks. Maybe that's not the image we want to come up with. So then I thought of Dennis Perone. Now, Dennis Perone is the father of medical marijuana here in California. If it wasn't for Dennis Perone, there wouldn't be a Proposition 215 that got passed. And all that. Dennis Perone was absolutely essential to the political where we stand today with cannabis legalization. And so we're going to call it the Dennis Perone Democratic Club. But then I began thinking, wait a minute, no, I know Dennis well too well. And the minute I do something that he doesn't like, he's going to be on the phone and say,
right.
Name off that club. So I had to figure out who am I going to be able to choose that can't do that.
Right.
And then I came up with Mary Jane Rathbun. Mary Jane Rathbun's stage name, you might say, was Brownie Mary. She got the name Brownie Mary because when she in the 80s, and when she was in her 70s and the 80s, she started baking marijuana-infused brownies and taking them to AIDS patients in San Francisco's general hospitals. And she got arrested 3 times for doing that, never prosecuted, but she was actually arrested.
But she was instrumental in policy change.
Oh, she was the one that began, not the only one of the people that really got the idea across that cannabis is not this harmful drug. In fact, cannabis is this helpful drug. And she was very much good with what she did for AIDS patients. So I thought, I'm going to call it the Brownie Mary Democratic, and name it after her. And I thought 3 reasons why I wanted to do that. One, Brownie Mary brought cannabis brownies to AIDS patients in hospitals. That's why it's so important. It's so important for the health of our people. Cannabis is important. Brownie Mary represented that. And Brownie Mary, well, it kind of sounds fun too. Brownie Mary, brownie's always good. And that's right. Cannabis is fun. Hey, it's not only healthy, but cannabis is fun. And number three, the marijuana movement, cannabis movement back in those days, and somewhat to a degree today, is male dominated. Mm-hmm. And we had to showcase the contributions made by women to the cannabis movement. And I couldn't think of a person who did make more contributions than Brownie Mary. And that's how the name came to our club and how we got started. We started as a local club in the Riverside County. We soon had a number of clubs in different county central committees, and we finally were chartered by the state itself. We are now a chartered organization of the California Democratic Party. We are part of the party. And as far as I know, there is no other state party in the entire country that actually has a chartered organization whose aim is the promotion of cannabis.
That's amazing. So promoting and protecting safe, reliable, legal, and local access to affordable, quality cannabis.
That's us.
A healthy alternative to alcohol, for sure.
That's, to me, as an RN.
As an RN, we can talk nurse to nurse.
Yeah, as an RN, the most important use of cannabis, its most important use of all, is as an alternative to alcohol. Alcohol is a horrid drug. We have 80,000 people a year die in the United States directly from their use of alcohol. When I was a nurse, I don't think I ever had a single day in which one of my patients was in a hospital, at least partially due to their use of alcohol. But the whole time I was there, I never had one patient that was in a hospital bed for the use of cannabis. And I had a friend who was had been a nurse for 25 years in the emergency room. When he graduated from nursing school, he went right into the emergency room. That's where he worked for 25 years. Every now and then he would come up to the cardiac unit as a fill-in, and he said, Lanny, he said, I've worked there for 25 years. I cannot remember a single case in anybody ever coming in because we're having a problem with cannabis. But I'll tell you, when it came to alcohol, I lost track of the number in the first month I was there.
Yeah.
And so to me, that's why I think cannabis is so important. And it has all for cancer and for insomnia and all kinds of other purposes. But I think it's a major contribution to the well-being and health of our communities as an alternative
Correct.
to alcohol.
Because alcohol is toxic to all 11 organ systems, our immune system, and all the neurotransmitter signaling systems that give messages. Whereas cannabis actually supports all 11 organ systems, our immune system, and all the neurotransmitter signaling systems. And the therapeutic use of cannabis is the use of cannabis products for medicinal, wellness, and healing purposes. It's personal and subjective to each consumer, with objective criteria being improvement in one of the 5 health domains: biological, mental, emotional, spiritual, social, without negatively impacting any of the others. So it really helps people just, to be able to, you're either using it therapeutically or you're not. And that includes adult recreational use.
You really have this down good. I'm going to learn your spiel. You just did it, and I'm going to put it as part of mine.
Absolutely.
That is really good.
Yes.
I have never heard it put together better in a shorter period of time, why cannabis is so important for our health.
Important for our health, and also as a harm reduction tool from other substances, alcohol, and other harmful pharmaceuticals.
And remember that alcohol has absolutely zero medical use. This nonsense about, have a glass of wine. Bullshit.
I agree.
Just bullshit.
I agree.
You want to have something good? Smoke a joint. That'll be better for you than a glass of wine.
There we go. And so here we go. We have Brownie, Married Democrats. Very grateful to have Lenny Swerdlow here.
Can I talk about one thing?
Absolutely.
You're not getting rid of me. That
I am not getting, Lenny, I could talk, you're a fellow nurse. We can have lots of heart to hearts.
Yes, we can.
What would you like to talk about?
Well, I want to talk about Proposition 64.
Okay.
Because, Brownie, Mary support, we support very good. And we were thrilled the Proposition 64 got passed. The 4th largest economy in the world, and now just legalized cannabis. So that was wonderful. The problem with Proposition 64, though, it was written to pass. It was not written to be any good. It was written so it would get passed, and it got passed. But it's not working. I mean, it's done a great job of getting people out of jail. Nobody goes to jail anymore for cannabis unless you're growing 5,000 plants without a license, something like that. Nobody goes to jail anymore. And so nobody's getting arrest records or anything like that. So it's done and almost everybody in the state level who was in there for cannabis is out. There's a few people still left in the federal level, but that's federal law, not state law. So the problem is, it's done a great job on the criminal side, but on the distribution side, getting cannabis to people affordably and that kind of stuff, it has failed miserably. It's the laws and the regulations. When I go before a city council and they're going to pass some kind of ordinance to allow cannabis business to operate, I go there and I says, I want to congratulate, I want to thank you for allowing cannabis business to operate. But I've read your ordinance. And this ordinance combined with Proposition 64, it's going to be easier to open up a nuclear power plant in your city than it would be to open up the cannabis industry. And it's just absurd. The regulations are just crazy. And the taxes are absolutely insane. The state they got rid of it, but they did have that per ounce tax they had, and they got a 15% excise tax. And then the cities, they all can put an excise tax as well. And they got 10, 15. So you get about a 30% tax on your product. And the other thing that is so bad about 64, and this what comes back to my case that went before the California Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court said ruled cities can ban medical marijuana collectives, even though the state allows it. Proposition 64 was written, so it allowed it. It allowed cities to ban. So what do we have in the state of California right now? 2/3 of the state of California, 2/3 are cannabis deserts. The biddies, no business is allowed. So if you live in that city or that county, you have to drive 50, 100 miles to a city that does, our county that does allow it, to buy it.
Yeah, so just
So
for the reviewers, just repeat that. So in California, everyone thinks that California is all cannabis, but there's a lot of places in California that actually have
2/3 of the state.
2/3 of the state.
You can't buy cannabis.
So only 1/3 of the state.
So what do people do then? Well, they could drive 50, 100 miles, but no, most people do what we used to do before 64 was passed. We buy it on the black market, and that's what we do. So what cannabis was Proposition 64 has done, it's empowered the black market because they made it so expensive and so difficult for people to get cannabis. And that's not what 64 is. We wanted it to do. We wanted it to make it easier to get.
Yeah.
And so how do you do that? How can you make cannabis? Well, like I look to the gay community for how to put Brownie Mary together. What do we do? What do we look for to how we get a more reasonable cannabis distribution system? Alcohol. I mean, what is more comparable in certain ways, socially and this kind of stuff, to alcohol? Cannabis. So why not regulate cannabis like alcohol? And you know what? If we did, it would solve all the problems overnight, just about. Now, but the problem is, to get cannabis regulated like alcohol, you got to amend the California Constitution, because that's when the California Constitution in 2005, in the Constitution, they put in this amendment that regulated alcohol. So the regulation of alcohol are not just some agency that made them up. This is in the state constitution. The only way you can change it is by a vote of the people. Mm-hmm. So, and they have, and it really works very well. And which we want cannabis to have its own section in the California Constitution, just like alcohol does, and in the same way alcohol does. And what does that mean? Number one, it means no more cannabis deserts. The cities would
dry cities
could not be dry. They can't ban alcohol. No city. That's why you can get alcohol throughout the state of California. They cannot ban a sale. They can regulate it by hours of operation or location within the city, but they can't just out and out ban it. So they wouldn't be able to out and out ban cannabis anymore either. Right. And all these 2/3 cities and counties in the state of California will no longer be deserts. They will have to allow cannabis businesses to operate. Yeah. Number two, did you ever notice that when you buy a bottle of beer or a bottle of wine, there's no local excise tax on it? Mm. They cannot, because it's in the Constitution, they cannot put an added excise tax on alcohol. The only excise tax on alcohol is what the state imposes, and that's all they do. So that would solve 10 to 15%, lowering the problems. So that's one of the big reasons we want to get cannabis treated like alcohol. To do that, we've got to change the Constitution. And we're the Brownie Mary Democrats are working with our state legislators, who are Democrats, to get a bill introduced into the state legislature that will put amendment onto the California state constitution that would allow for cannabis to be regulated just like alcohol.
Amazing. Lanny, I just want to say thank you so much for your service.
Can I give him an email address?
Absolutely. And you're going to see in the show notes. So when you look below in the show notes, I'm going to have Lanny's name, his website, and his email. So for viewers that are watching, it's LannyMaryDemocrats.org.
Yeah. Well, that's my email address. If you want to find out, that's fine. Send it to Lanny@BrownieMaryDemocrats.org, and I'll respond. But we have a website, and the website is BrownieMaryDemocrats.org.
BrownieMaryDemocrats. Yep.
And you can join there. We'd love to have you coming, but you got to be a Democrat, and you got to be a Democrat in the state of California. Anywhere. But if you're a Republican or if you're independent, you can't join Brownie Mary Democrats. Yep. So if you've ever needed a reason to join the Democratic Party, that's a good reason. But let me tell you, there's another good reason right now, because we got to get that guy who's the federal. We got to get the orange brown hair guy, whatever else.
Get him orange man out.
And we need to take over. And this is not going to date this podcast. We'll have to wait and see what happens in 2026. If the Democrats can take control at least one house of Congress, we can stop Trump. If the Republicans stay in control, we're in big trouble.
Yeah. All right. One last question for you. How has cannabis helped you to live your best life?
Well,
what has it done for you medically, emotionally, spiritually, socially?
I started smoking cannabis when I was in college, and it was in 1967 or 68. I was 19 years old, and I had when I went to the college, the very first day they had this club day, and you all those in club, and there was this one club that had scuba diving. I want to join that. I want to learn scuba diving. So I joined it. And it turns out the campus I was in, California State College of Los Angeles, had been an upper division school until I came in. And that time I was the first wave of people that were, freshmen. And so I joined this club, and the average age was in their mid-20s, most of them divorced. And I was this 17-year-old wet nose behind the kid. And I just thought, oh, this is so funny. They threw a party to get me drunk. And they succeeded beyond their wildest imaginations. They got me drunk on screwdrivers. I don't remember much about it, except walking into walls and passing out and throwing it on the freeway and all this kind of stuff. But it was the worst experience of my life. And I couldn't figure, why would anybody ever want to experience that? And then a year later, a friend got me stoned on pot, and I said, this is it. That's how I got started, because I found a really helpful way that doesn't hurt. I'd like to alter my senses. Hey, this was the 60s, I want to alter my senses. Cannabis did that to me without the things of alcohol. And so for the next 30 years or so, I used cannabis, but I never thought of it as being important for health-wise. But in 1995, a good friend of mine had developed AIDS. And this was a roly-poly guy that had wasted away to next to nothing. And we found that giving him cannabis would restore his appetite. So he'd eat, keep his weight on, stay alive.
Yeah.
And also back in 95, the drugs they were taking, there's a cocktail of drugs like this for trying to combat the AIDS virus. And they had negative side effects like so many medications. And the cannabis helped mitigate those side effects, so he would stay compliant with his medication. And in 1995, AIDS was considered a lethal disease. You got AIDS, you died. So it was kind of disheartening, kind of dispiriting. But the cannabis would lift the spirits up so he'd feel good. So here was this product, this medicine, if you will, that helped him feel better about himself, helped him stay compliant with his medications, and helped him eat and keep his weight on so he stayed alive. And I or somebody else had to go out on the street and deal with criminals to get it for him. I said, this is absolutely insanity. And at that time, I then California had passed their Proposition 215 in 1996, and I got involved in Oregon's proposition in 1998, to legalize cannabis medically in California. That's how I got involved politically.
Awesome.
There you go.
Well, Lanny, gosh, it has been such a pleasure to sit with you and learn from you, and all of your advocacy and activism and changing the paradigm of health for all people to live their best lives.
And I want to thank you very much for giving me that perfect spiel to use my thoughts and things about how.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we are here at Coachella Valley Cannabis Alliance. We have a few more interviews. I will be right back. Okay, so I'm waiting for one last person to interview, and he's the president of Coachella Valley Cannabis Alliance. So he should be here in a minute. But while I'm waiting for him, there's a little song I want to sing for you. All of my cells inside my body, all of my cells are happy and well. All of the cells inside my body, all of the cells are happy and well. I'm so glad all of my cells inside my body are happy and well. I'm so glad all of my cells inside my body are happy and well. Thanks to cannabis. All right, one last interview to go. Everyone's living their best lives and helping others do the same at the 2026 Coachella Valley Cannabis Alliance Pool Party. And you're not going to believe who I have here today. I have David Acevedo.
Yes, Acevedo.
Acevedo, I got it right. And he's from Nature's Healthy Alternatives. He's the owner. And he also works with Cheech and Chong. So we're going to learn a little bit about David today, about Nature's Healthy Alternatives, and what you're doing with Cheech and Chong. That is like the coolest thing.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. And I have a gift for you.
You
I
did?
didn't know it was your birthday.
It's my
I have something
birthday.
for you. Rolled by Tommy himself.
Oh my goodness.
And if you like to open it up and take a look at it,
Take a peek, everyone.
it's a Tommy Chong original roll joint.
It is?
Yes.
He rolled it himself.
He rolled this himself.
Guys, look at this. This is really cool.
He rolled this himself.
And a joint that was rolled by.
You can follow our story at
Check it
Nature.
out. Look at that beautiful joint. There you go. Nice, and it's a hybrid, which is perfect for me. There's a little too much sativa. I'm bouncing off the walls. A little bit too much indica. I'm into couch. So this is like a nice, oh my God, great, awesome. Thank you so much. So David, tell me about your journey into cannabis and how you got started with Nature's Healthy Alternatives and how you're working with Cheech and Chong today.
My journey to cannabis came into me getting my medical card.
There you go.
I got my medical card back in 2009
Yep.
at a licensed place where it was called Riverside THC. I forgot what those letters exactly stood for, but that's where I got my medical card, and it was because of my back. You know, I have
Back
a
pain.
spinal stenosis,
Mhm.
and cannabis really does help for back pain.
Yes.
You know, it's God's natural medicine actually for everything. Depending on what type of flower you need, you're using for what type of element you may have.
Yep.
It's God's gift.
It's God's gift. And the part that I love so much about cannabis is for those that are like kind of hesitant and may not want to smoke or dab or do bongs and joints and spliffs and vape pens and all of that. You can eat it. So you can cook with it, you can eat it, you can make your own. There's topicals, there's edibles, there's tinctures, there's so many different ways
So
you can use
different ways.
cannabis to help with your health and wellness.
Yes, there is. And that's how I got involved with Tommy Chong. You know, and it was through a dream that my dad shared with me.
And what was that dream?
And that dream was that Tommy would get cancer and he was going to fight off his cancer by using cannabis.
Oh, wow.
I followed the signs that he shared with me, many signs, to where it led me to go to Oaksterdam University, to where I learned about cannabis, about the benefits of cannabis, about how it can turn into different types of medicine, how to open up a dispensary, and I ran with it from there.
Wow.
I had the first legalized dispensary in San Bernardino from 2014 to almost 2016 before I got shut down by the feds. Yes, 3 letters it took to shut me down.
Wow.
I listened.
Wow, 3 letters. Well, you know, you were serving the people and you know, bringing
Yes.
people what they wanted and needed. And yeah, so
Following state rules. I mean, there's no reason for the feds to be involved.
no, none at all. It's completely, you know, that's another thing that people don't understand is, you know, we are all for completely descheduling, you know, free the plant.
Yes.
Rescheduling is better than nothing. I would rather have it be descheduled. But the thing is the way it's been sitting in the United States today is that it was a Schedule 1. So federally, it's illegal. Where at the state level, well, every state can make their own rules. So, but the issue is you have federal versus state.
Right.
And then, and what happened in this case, him getting shut down, shouldn't have happened. Federal trumped state.
Correct. And it should have never happened.
Never
because
should have happened.
we're following everything that the state was asking for us to do.
Yeah. Wow. So then your journey from there led you to.
When my dad started sharing those dreams with me, I would share with people my story and my dream.
Yep.
To where they would tell me, you got to get a hold of Tommy Chong and you got to let him know. Well, I designed this logo. I gave him a t-shirt at the Orange Show and told him I had a story for him. You know, 6 months later, I was sitting in front of his face, sharing my story. And he couldn't believe it himself because he said a few weeks before I was there, he was diagnosed with his prostate cancer.
Wow.
So that's when you go back to, you don't have to smoke it, because what I was educated on was turning it into an oil and learning about the Rick Simpson oil and learning that you can put Rick Simpson oil into a capsule and putting that capsule wherever you need it to go.
That's absolutely right. You can take it orally, you can take it rectally, you can take it vaginally, in suppositories. We work with many, many patients. That's the beauty of this plant, that there's multiple compounds doing multiple things, and there's many different ways to take it. So it fits everyone's lifestyle,
It sure does.
right? Like if people say, oh, I don't smoke, I'm like, you don't have to.
You don't have to.
Oh, I don't want to drink it. No, you don't have to. Oh,
And what's so sad about it is that they'd rather take a pill.
yeah.
And this is what believes me to where my dad led me on this journey, because my dad used cannabis. He was in Vietnam. He had Agent Orange. He had fibromyalgia. He had everything you can think of. He worked for the city for 35 years, retired for 1 year, to where they were going to do a stem repair on his heart. And the doctors, they couldn't do it because, all these years back, he was taught not to do cannabis anymore, to go to the hospital, to get on pharmaceutical meds, so that way he could keep his job. And they started him off on Motrin, and when he passed away, he was on morphine. And when the doctors did that, try to pull out his heart dissolved like coffee grinds.
Wow. Wow.
And it's such a sad story, but it's a story that he's leading me on now, because I shouldn't know Cheech and Chong. I shouldn't be working with Tommy so closely.
Yeah.
But me and Tommy were brothers. I actually inaugurated them to get their star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Oh, cool.
We found out today that they got the vote in.
Nice.
If you get a chance, people, go to HollywoodWalkOfFame.com and you can watch it.
Okay.
And it's a story that me and Tommy will be sharing with everybody.
So the HollywoodWalkOfFame.com.
Yes.
And you can, I'm going to put that in the comments so you can click on the link and find it. And do you think that Tommy would ever want to come on my podcast?
We're going to be doing some rounds. So we're going to be doing a lot of shows. We're actually going to be raising a lot of money.
Nice.
Because I wanted him to party with us now and celebrate, seeing him get his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
we're going to have such a show. It's going to be beautiful.
That's amazing. That's
Yes.
amazing. Wow. So good work. And do you want to tell me a little bit more about Nature's Healthy Alternatives?
Yes, well, that's the name of the company that I started with my dispensary way back in 2013,
Yeah.
And it was because of people believing in me, and they helped fund me, and with my education, we got everything going. And it's medicine. Nature's Healthy Alternatives. It's cannabis and medicine in so many different ways. It's not just smoking it.
No.
It's eating it,
Yep.
suppository.
Nope. I mean, like people say, how do you use it? I go, how do I not use it? Right? I can put it on my arms, on my face. You can make a salve for your hair. You can use it as a facial. You can take a tincture. I can make butters. I can make salad dressing. I can make muffins, cakes, brownies, cookies. There's drinks.
Yes.
There's so many different ways to
Yeah.
consume it.
There's
Yeah.
so many different ways, and it's very good for your skin.
It is
I mean,
very good for your
infused
skin.
with coconut oil. It's the best thing for your skin.
You know. Do you believe I'm 60?
You don't know. Not even.
I know, I am. I was born 1966, yes.
No, she does.
So so cannabis is totally
But
the
she's
new
using it.
anti-aging, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I like to eat it. I like lots of hemp,
Yes.
lots of hemp and omega-3s, and plant-based as much as possible, and no drinking alcohol, no smoking tobacco.
Me neither. No alcohol, no tobacco.
And then
you don't need that.
No, you don't.
You don't.
No, that's
Cannabis does what it needs to do for your body.
It does. I got a funny story for you. So I'll tell you a story about my mom. My mom, if you're watching, I love you. So she was anti-cannabis for a really long time, blocked me on Facebook, wrote me out of her will. And she, I was getting healthy. I was really sick. I was on 18 pharmaceuticals at one point in time. And so it was a 70-year-old nurse that introduced me to cannabis as medicine and helped me to learn how to use it appropriately and to get off of these medicines. And that's what I did. And so my mother wasn't happy with that. She was like not happy at all. And so I started my podcast. So the National Council State Boards of Nursing is the nursing regulatory board that gives out the nursing exam. And they put out a call to action in a 64-page document stating that all nurses, nurse practitioners, and nursing students must have 6 essential areas of knowledge when it comes to cannabis as medicine. So I started doing this podcast way back in 2018 to share that information and to share compelling stories of healing. And then with my business partner, we started Clinical Conversations. And Clinical Conversations is where we take a topic like a symptom or a disease or a condition, and we break it down. How does conventional care treat it? What are the limitations of conventional care? What cannabinoids can be used? And case studies that go with it. So just sharing all of that to decrease. And my podcast, truly, it's living your best life, the Green Nurse podcast. I'm here to decrease stigma around what it means to feel good and be high. And I say it, H is for hope, I is for inspiration, G is for growth, and H is for healing. And my mother, God love her, was anti-cannabis for a long time. And I started my podcast and started sharing these stories. And I had a nun on that I took care of. This nun was on fentanyl. She had fentanyl patches that she was changing every 36 hours for chronic pain, and she was in so much pain. We started her on cannabis products, cannabis oils, taught her how to use it, combination of different products all day long. And over the course of a year to a year and a half, she was able to come off of her fentanyl patches and get off of all opioids.
That is so beautiful.
So she came on the podcast. So the nun came on the podcast and shared her story, and I remember saying to her, there's a lot of people out there that are very religious, and I respect religion. I respect, I'm more spiritual than I am religious, but I respect it. I said, however, this plant has grown and God gave it to us. I said, I said, with all due respect for my mother, what would Jesus say about all this cannabis? And Sister Suzanne held up her finger and she said, Jesus would say, what the frig did it take you so long to use this God-given plant that I created for you? It would be a sin not to use it.
And what people don't understand is that if you're a religious type of person, it's on the very first page of the Bible.
There you go.
It's there. God left us seed.
Seed. That's right.
And we cannot judge what type of seed God left for us here on earth to consume.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he made that for us for healing purposes.
That's right. And to even take it a step further, why does cannabis work so well in the body? Well, it's because we have an endocannabinoid system, right? And we make molecules in our body very similar to the plant. And when our bodies are out of balance, we substitute and supplement with cannabinoids, and it corrects cell signaling. So you have this downstream effect on all of your body systems all at the same time. It's fascinating.
You're going back to spiritual. Mine and Tommy's friendship is very spiritual. We go back to a very spiritual bond together. And my whole story, my dad has put me in positions and put me in front of people for reasons. And I needed you. And I needed somebody like you by my side, because I'm sorry to say, but the support I didn't get, I wish I would have gotten from Oaksterdam. That's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
But I was used by them, and it's okay, because you see what people and who people are, and to be true with it, and to listen and hearing your education, that's what we need.
Yeah,
Because
that's in my story that I've shared before is, when I went to get my medical card, I'm sitting across from a doctor. And after I got my medical card, I said to the doctor, what's next? He handed me a piece of paper and said, good luck, kid. I said, wait a minute, time out. I'm a nurse. Like I'm a sister. Like, you know what I mean? Like if I was a doctor, I'd be your brother, but I'm a sister in healthcare. And basically that, to me, and once I figured it out, it took me 2 years to figure out how to make cannabis work for me appropriately so I could function and take care of my family and drive and be healthy right. And so learning about the endocannabinoid system, we have an endocannabinoid system, again, not because of the cannabis plant, but because we make molecules in our body just like the plant. And we have a system that was created by God, right? Like this. So, and how amazing is it that this plant can work on multiple symptoms, systems, physiologies, receptors, all at the same time. It's fascinating.
I take 0 pills.
Yeah.
The doctor told me 10 years ago that if I wouldn't have the operation they're asking for me to have, which was to extend the cushion in my back because it's bone on bone right now, that I would actually be handicapped and crippled within 5 years.
Wow.
When I park in disability parking spot, people look at me funny because I just get out of the car like I'm normal.
Right.
I'm able to walk miles but it's because of cannabis.
Because
It's
cannabis
because
is
of
helping you.
what cannabis does for my body. I'm not saying I can do it at the same time. I go for an hour and then go back to where I have to go and medicate and do what I have to do and
Yep.
get back on my journey.
Yeah.
You know, but it's the medicine that is here for us.
It is for us, it is with us, and it is not going away. No, we're just at the beginning, tip of the
Yes.
iceberg. You know, there's
Yeah.
so much more to learn, you know. And that's one of the things that I love about this is the learning. The more I learn, the more I realize I don't know.
Wow.
And that's right. And that's powerful statement
Yes,
because
it
it's an
is.
endless
Endless.
abyss
Yeah,
of education and information that needs to be shared.
yes.
And the more I dig and learn, you know, the more excited I get to be able to help more people.
Very, very, very true. What I like to educate people on is that if you find a strain that's working for you, get yourself a seed or get yourself a baby plant and start growing your own.
There you go.
Because when you know what you're putting into your plant was what you know you're putting into your plant. You know what you're putting into your body and you know what's helping you.
Yep.
You know, it may not be that knockout killer that you're looking for because your brain don't need all that, but it's going to help you with whatever element you may be going through.
Yeah.
And not just one, grow many, because the state of California allows us to grow 6.
You go. And you can do a lot with 6.
Yes, you can. Trees.
Yes. Trees, they can grow
Trees.
very
You can
big.
grow trees. Yes, you can.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, this has been absolutely wonderful. David, thank you so much. Please say thank you to Tommy Chung for me.
I will do
I am
that.
extremely grateful for the gift. This is a pre-roll that he rolled himself. So how cool is that?
It's a souvenir.
Yeah, it's a souvenir.
Right?
And remember, everyone, what it's all about. It's about living your best life and helping others do the same. We've got one other interview to go, and then that will be it for tonight.
Can I just get my Instagram?
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you guys want to follow our story, it's Nature's Healthy Alternatives 13. And you can see our story and our journey.
All right. Very good. And you can check in the comments. All the links will be there.
Thank you.
And we are winding down to the final interview. I have Scott, the president of CVCAN, Coachella Valley Cannabis Alliance. We have had an amazing 2026 pool party celebrating 10 years of CVCAN.
Well, thank you very much. So thanks for having me and being a part of all this. You know, what you and Elizabeth doing are just wonderful. We cannot thank you enough for your work in the Health and Wellness Committee here. I'm going to be a part of. I do want to talk about CVCAN just for a minute. We are celebrating our 10th anniversary, as Sherri mentioned. The Coachella Valley Cannabis Alliance Network, CVCAN, is a nonprofit trade organization, 501c6. And our mission is to be a reasonable and productive voice for our members in the cannabis community in the Coachella Valley, as well as the state of California. We do this through a variety of ways, the most important of which are innovative programming in the areas of education, advocacy, and networking. I always tell people there are 3 reasons to consider becoming a part of CVCAN. The first is the movement, destigmatization, normalization. The second is, how can we help you make your business better? It's not for us to tell you that, it's for you to come be part of and help us understand where you want to go, what you want to do, how can we help your business? And then the third thing is, how can we as a group benefit our community, whether that's the greater Coachella Valley, specific cities, whatever the case may be. And so that's what really CVCAN is all about. Our most recent endeavors have been working with city councils in Cathedral City as well as Palm Springs to adopt California AB 1775, commonly called the Lounge Act or the Cafe Bill. And we're doing great work with them. They're wonderful cities. I should also give Desert Hot Springs a big shout out. They approved lounges even before the lounge bill. So great city to work with. Education, advocacy, networking. That's what we're about.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much for throwing this party, for having all these events, and being an amazing president of an association. It's a tough job, and you do an amazing job.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, and please pardon my casual attire here. It's a
pool party.
We've got some fun stuff coming up. Check out our website, CoachellaValleyCan.org. We'll be doing an Oktoberfest, a holiday party. There'll be some education and advocacy things going on. So come be part of, and really, again, thank you for doing this and all that you and Elizabeth do. Wonderful people to work with. Get in touch with them.
Yeah.
Do your thing. They're just awesome. They really are.
Awesome. So we're going to wrap up the show. And you know how I always wrap up my shows. You remember, we're going to have to remember what it's all about. You have to look at the comments and click on all the links and visit all of the amazing guests that I had on today. And then also you have to remember to continue to live your best life and help others do the same. Happy birthday to me.
We're here to educate and empower patients to make choices that are best for them. We're also here to decrease stigma around what it means to feel good and be high. Hence the H for hope, I for inspiration, G for growth, and H for healing. The Green Nurse is a holistic cannabis nurse that teaches on the endocannabinoid system and the safe utilization of cannabis and other progressive tools to help people reach a better quality of life.
I was cannabis agnostic for many, many years. And you know, the more research I did, the more I discovered that cannabis is this amazing medicine.
I was told that I had a 4-stage pancreatic cancer. The doctor really told me he couldn't do anything else. He gave me her name and she called me and she came to my house. She started to give me cannabis. My oncologist was puzzled because he couldn't find the cancer anymore.
All of the learning that we get comes from the Green Nurses Group, comes from their support, comes from their guidance. I trust everything that she says.
Simply meet people where they're at. The plant doesn't, stress to grow, so we don't stress to share it. We're healing people.
Cannabis has been used as a medicine for tens upon thousands of years. Here's the big message. Cannabis needs to be federally legal. We need to have laws that are the same across all 50 states that allow access to anyone and everyone who wants to utilize this powerful medicine.